Having high self-esteem is healthy for humans. It helps us achieve our goals and objectives, earn respect, and maintain adequate self-love. However, there is a difference between self-esteem and narcissism. If you had a narcissistic partner or are dating one, prepare for a very difficult relationship. So, here are 50 questions to find out if your partner is a narcissist. But first, subscribe to my channel where you can find more interesting content about psychology. 1. When something goes wrong, does your partner blame anyone but themselves? That's right. A narcissistic partner will never accept that they made a mistake. After all, they never make mistakes, don't they? 2. Does your partner refuse to take responsibility for their bad behavior? For example, you made me so angry that I couldn't help it. Don't be fooled. Everyone is responsible for their own behavior. 3. Does your partner believe they are always right? You're getting the idea. Narcissists always think they're right. 4. Is your partner unable to connect with your feelings or those of your children? This is because narcissists only think about themselves and find it difficult to empathize. 5. Does your partner seem more concerned with how your behavior or that of their children affects them instead of understanding and accepting who you and the children are as individuals? Narcissists are usually unsympathetic. They tend to focus on how others affect them instead of trying to accept each other's personalities. 6. Does your partner seem disconnected from their own feelings or seem to deny them? A narcissist often denies their feelings when they don't benefit them in order to present a positive image to others. For example, they rarely show sadness or fear. 7. Does your partner harbor resentment toward you or others? Narcissists often become resentful when others don't treat them in a special way. 8. Is everything about your partner and their money, time, property, and demands? Your partner often demands everything they give you, even if it's not much, and only their own things matter. 9. Does your partner seem reluctant to listen to you or your concerns? When you're worried, your partner doesn't usually listen or care much about how you feel. 10. Does your partner constantly tell you what to do? Since narcissists always believe they're right, they tend to underestimate others and believe that others aren't capable of thinking for themselves. 11. Does your partner make you feel inadequate? Has your partner's constant belittling led you to internalize this message? We've already seen that narcissists often look down on others as inferior, which can cause you to end up believing their version of events. 12. Does your partner never ask you about yourself, your day, or your feelings, even in passing? Conversations focus only on them, their life, and their relationships, because that's all that matters. 13. Does your partner need to talk for hours about how great they are and how pathetic you are? Narcissists love to point out the vast difference between their great abilities and your horrible flaws. 14. Does your partner lie? Narcissists don't mind lying if it satisfies their needs. 15. Does your partner manipulate? Likewise, manipulating others isn't usually so unpleasant. Does your partner tell different stories about the same event depending on the person, altering it to make themselves look good? Narcissists tend to distort reality, sometimes exaggerating it to make themselves look good, and other times to avoid responsibility for an event. 17. When your partner talks about their children, do they talk about what they do instead of who they are? This is what many unmarried mothers do, and they are not narcissists. However, narcissists don't care as much about their children's achievements as they do about their accomplishments. They often place high demands on their children to live up to their expectations. If they don't achieve success, they will be ashamed of them. 18. Are your children uncomfortable with your partner, or do they adore them but at the same time don't want to spend time with them? At first, a narcissist may dazzle you with their appearance, but little by little, it becomes uncomfortable to be with a person who only cares about themselves. 19. Have you noticed that children protect themselves by avoiding sharing their feelings with your partner? Narcissists often dismiss the feelings of others, calling them weak or ridiculous, which is why children may avoid talking about them in front of your partner. 20. Does your partner distrust everyone? For the narcissist, few people are worthy of his trust until they prove themselves worthy of his expectations. 21. Are the children always trying to gain your partner's love and approval? Narcissists have very high expectations, but beware, because no matter what you do, you'll probably never live up to them. Even if you surpass their achievements, they will tend to dismiss them. 22. Does your partner spend as little time as possible with the children? Babysitting isn't something they can boast about, so anything that doesn't make them look good to others will surely be avoided. 23. Does your partner tend to skip the children's events if they don't have a particular interest in the activity or don't value it? If the narcissist doesn't see the activity as valuable, they will surely dismiss or despise it. 24. Does your partner encourage the children to participate in activities that only your partner likes or values and discourage or prohibit them from pursuing activities they dislike? For the narcissist, only what they do is important, and what others do is not. That's why they have a hard time understanding that their children like other things. 25. Have other people in your life said that there's something different or strange about your partner? Perhaps this attitude seems normal to you, but for other people it's often strange or annoying because they often feel undervalued. 26. Does your partner take advantage of other people? The narcissist believes they deserve everything in return for nothing, so they won't mind not repaying borrowed money or using you to obtain something. 27. Is your partner obsessed with power and control, pursuing it at all costs? Narcissists love power, and this can obsess them to such an extent that it seems like it's the only thing they care about in life. 28. Is your partner obsessed with appearance and the way things are perceived by others? Narcissists only care about what others think and are obsessed with looking good to others no matter what. 29. Does your partner seem to have no value system or fixed idea of right or wrong? Narcissists don't usually care much about morals. They'll do whatever they can to get what they want. 30. After a divorce, does your partner still want to exploit you? Or has your partner never calmed down? No matter how divorced you are, they will believe that you will always be their property and should be at their disposal. Before continue, remember, if you are stuck with a narcissist, we can have therapy online. I treat a lot of narcissist couples. I leave you my WhatsApp number down here. 31. When you discuss life issues with your partner, does your partner change the subject so that you end up talking about their problems? Remember, for a narcissist, their problems are all that matter, so they can pretend to care about yours, but only for a while. 32. When you describe your feelings, does your partner try to override yours with their own stories? If you tell him about a time you did something brave, he'll tell you about the time he performed an incredibly heroic act. If you tell him about a problem, he'll tell you he has much worse problems, so no matter what you say, you'll never win. 33. Does your partner act jealous of you? Narcissists rarely show their jealousy explicitly, but they do seek to control the relationship, and they will do so by insinuating about your appearance, your friends, or family, telling you all their flaws, so you'll start isolating yourself from everyone. 34. Does your partner try to make you jealous? This is a true characteristic of a narcissist. They'll tell you that many people are after them, they'll strut when others praise them, and they'll send you messages that make you feel that if you don't get your act together, they could leave with any of their many admirers. 35. Does your partner only support things that make them look good? He doesn't care about your decisions, only when they benefit him in some way or help him look good in front of others. 36. Do you constantly feel a lack of emotional closeness with your partner? Although the narcissist may sometimes appear affectionate, in reality, he only loves himself and will give you the crumbs of what he has left or pretend to be so as long as he benefits from it. 37. Do you constantly wonder if your partner loves you? Narcissists only love themselves and find it difficult to love others. 38. Does your partner only do considerate things for you when their good behavior is witnessed? They'll treat you well in front of others, just so others can see how good they are. 39. When something difficult happens in your life, for example, an accident, illness, a divorce in your family and circle of friends, does your partner react with immediate concern about how it will affect them instead of worrying about you? If you had an accident, they'll only think about the expenses, or if you're sick, about who will take care of them. 40. Is your partner overly aware of what others think? In fact, they're overly concerned about what others think to make sure they're always the good guy. 41. Do you feel like your partner is using you? Narcissists only care about what you do for them, not so much about who you are or their love for you. 42. Do you feel responsible for your partner's illnesses or problems? This is what the narcissist wants you to feel, so that you'll go out of your way to help them. 43. Do you feel like your partner doesn't accept you? They always point out your flaws, making it seem as though you're insignificant. 44. Does your partner criticize and judge others, including you? The narcissist is always talking about other people's flaws. This is a way of making themselves feel self-aggrandizing. 45. Do you feel like your partner doesn't know and value who you really are and doesn't even want to get to know you? They seem uninterested in spending time with you, unfamiliar with your likes, friends, goals, or expectations, and are indifferent to them. 46. Does your partner act as if the world revolves around them? They feel like everyone is watching what they do or don't do, and that others. 47. Does your partner seem fake to you? Narcissists tend to put on a few fronts to look good in many situations. They'll feign kindness and charisma and brag about their accomplishments, even if they change their story. 48. Does your partner swing from grandiosity to a depressed mood? Narcissists always try to look good in front of others, but if something happens in which they've failed, been ridiculed or humiliated, or failed to achieve one of their lofty goals, they'll become depressed and play the victim, blaming and belittling others. 49. Does your partner try to compete with you? Far from working as a team with you, narcissists always tend to try to be better than you in every area, and they believe that your role should always be to flatter them and help them look good. 50. Does your partner always need things their way? A narcissist will get extremely angry when things don't go their way and will label others as inept or incompetent. So, what's the verdict? Remember that we can all have a certain degree of narcissism, which could be considered normal, though not necessarily healthy. However, if you answered yes to most of these questions, your partner has a high degree of narcissism. So you may need to reconsider the relationship, and often, when someone is stuck in a relationship like this, it can be difficult to get out, as the narcissist lowers our self-esteem to the point where we feel dependent on them. If this is your problem, or you know someone who has it, I recommend seeking psychological help, as a relationship like this can become very destructive, and the consequences are disastrous. If you want more information, you can find it in the book Will I Ever Get Rid of You? How to Navigate a High-Conflict Divorce with a Narcissist and Heal Your Family. My name is Fernando Rodriguez from Animated Psychology, and I'll see you in another video.